In Business Plan 5, you'll be creating your product line and your profit margin. This video is being created to demonstrate how to find the profit margin on certain items in your menu. So before you can find the profit margin, you have to know exactly what would be the items that you want to have on your menu. And here are the requirements for that. Once this is completed, then you can move on to the profit margin. We'll be using a spreadsheet to find out what the exact profit margin would be on your certain items. So what a profit margin is, it's a percent of how much, the difference from how much it costs to make the item to how much you're selling it for. And the larger the profit margin, the more profit you're making on that food item. And we'll demonstrate how to do that here. So you're going to select 3 appetizers, 3 main dishes, and 3 desserts from your menu to find the profit margin on it. During investment day, this is a question that often comes up that you really need to know for your investors. So after you selected which appetizers, main dishes, and desserts you like to do, it's now time to start looking up what would be the ingredients needed to create that dish. And then you would need to figure out the serving sizes that would be needed to cook that food item. So if it says flour, you would have to look up the cost of a bag of flour, but that would not be part of it. You would have to find out what would be how much flour would be needed to cook the item. So let's look at an example here. Let's say that you were going to cook a large chocolate chip cookie, and here's the recipe for it. So what I would do with this information would be put it into the spreadsheet. So in this profit margin spreadsheet, you're going to list all your ingredients on this side. Once they are all listed in here, then you're going to tell me the cost per serving. So how much flour, if it was cookies, would be needed to create a large chocolate chip cookie. Because you need to get the exact amount per unit to know the exact profit margin. So find the recipe, select all of it, write it down in the spreadsheet, and then you're ready to go and start figuring out prices when it comes to this. So let's say these were all the listed items that are there, and I already took the time to figure out, okay, it would only be 30 cents to make this large chocolate chip cookie for this amount of flour and baking soda and salt and whatnot. You may find items that are 0.001 in order to create this product. So salt is maybe 1 cent, but you need to do some research to figure out the exact prices when it comes to items. So you'll type the item in there. Now, if you don't fill up all the columns, that's fine. It doesn't matter if it's blank or not. So we looked up the recipe. We looked up the individual amounts that is needed in order to create this, and then we looked up and calculated the prices that it would cost to make this large chocolate chip cookie. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to get the total cost for the dessert. So we're going to go equals, we're going to type in sum, S-U-M, hit enter, click and select on your cells, enter again, and it would cost $2.35 in order to make this large chocolate chip cookie. Then from there, you need to figure out how much you would decide to pay or how much you would sell this cookie for. So let's say for this example, you'd sell it for $5. So now, what would be the profit for this cookie? Well, all we would do is we would go equals, we would click on the sale price, what we're going to sell it for, minus the total cost of the cookie, enter. So we're making $2.65 for every large cookie that we create. Now we get to the profit margin. So what is that in a percent? So we're going to go equals, and again the formulas are right up here as I type this in. We're going to click on the profit for the item divided by the sale price, enter. So if someone asks, what is your profit margin on a large chocolate chip cookie? You could say 53%. And the higher this number goes, the better. You want it to be high. If it's less than 15%, you're probably not charging enough for that. So you want to make sure that your profit margin is correct. Okay, so review one more time here. We took 3 items, 3 appetizers, 3 main dish, 3 desserts, and we found out the recipe. We put that information into here. We calculated how much it would cost per cookie, large chocolate chip cookie. We then put the sum of it, we added it up here. The sale price, how much we'd be willing to sell it for, our profit margin, and let's label it here, large chocolate chip cookie. If there's any questions about how to do this, let me know. There is an individual spreadsheet for appetizers, main dishes, and desserts.